Hello, everybody. How are you doing today? My name is Tony Rizzano, and this is the best podcast on the planet. For you and I, we just call it Online Marketing Moves. We are coming to you live today from the great state of Georgia. Today is December the 31st, 2020. It is New Year's Eve. For some of you party animals, some of the rest of us will be home watching TV. And for some of us special people, we'll be at home trying to see if we can stay up to midnight. The last 3 years, my wife says, 11:30, you passed out, my man. I said, oh man, I missed it. I said, well, and then last year I told her, I said, you know what we're going to do? I said, we are going to celebrate New Year's London style. So it was about 7 o'clock, and I walked into the room and I said, Happy New Year's. And she said, what? And I said, it's New Year's in London. So, she's like, it's only 7 o'clock here. I said, well, I got to celebrate when I can because, I'll be sleeping about 3 to 4 hours. So don't mind me. I don't think we've been out on the New Year since we've been married. So I think we are definitely going to keep that tradition going this year. What do you think? All right. But of course, as you know, we don't do New Year's resolutions around here. We do goals. Do you have a goal in the year 2021? And I know you will reach your goal because you are working on it every day. That's the main thing. I just saw this thing about somebody writing. It's some show on Netflix, and apparently a lot of people has watched it. But the guy spent like 30 years writing it and rewriting it and this and that. I'm like, wow, that's quite the dedication, okay? And that's what you got to do. I mean, sometimes, of course, as you well know, we want things to go. Not just. And I know people like, oh, young people, they just impatient. No, that's all of us, especially when it comes to success, when it comes to making money. Sometimes we get in a hurry. We're like, come on, get this, let's go. And you want things to be sped up. You want things to be quick. But it's not always quick for you. It's not always things don't always go as fast as you want them to go. I mean, I wish this podcast would get 1 million downloads a week, but it's not. But one day it'll happen because I'm just gonna keep going, keep talking, and you are going to tell people, hey, I know a guy, I got a guy. I got a podcast guy, but things don't happen as fast as you want them sometimes. Things happen sometimes faster than you was expecting, but when they happen, they happen. You just have to be prepared, wait for the impact, and take it from there. I'll tell you, this year has been quite the year. A lot of strange things, a lot of, What is the strangest thing that happened to you this year? For me, I will tell you. The strangest thing was when they first, started shutting down the country about the coronavirus. I was fully, I was over the road. I was, California and Arizona. I was just kept, for some reason, I would go from California to Texas, California, Texas, Texas to California, California to Texas, back and forth. So one day, of course, and the people, they was like, oh no, y'all, truth be told, when you've been driving trucks as long as me, you see most people, they don't want you inside their building anyway, so you kind of used to the, oh no, you can't come in here anymore. It's like, okay. So it was very strange, the whole coronavirus. I really didn't know what was going on because, as you know, this job, you're pretty isolated already. So it's not like, get away from people because you're not around people anyway. You know what I mean? So I remember I was in California. I think it was March or April, 1 or 2. So I happen to be in, and if you know California, Southern California, okay, I was in Riverside, California. right there in Riverside, and then I was supposed to go pick up a load from Riverside, California to North Hollywood. North Hollywood from Riverside it's quite a ways, especially when you're dealing with LA traffic. So in total it was 60 miles. Now normally before COVID, LA 60 miles I would have been, if I'm lucky, I would have been an hour and a half. An hour and a half at best. An hour and 15, hour and a half at best. Most of the time, it probably would have took me 2 hours. That day, I'm driving, and I'm like, man, it's really no traffic out here. And I'm just like, I'm amazed because, it's sort of like being driving after a while, like any job, you sort of like, I gotta wait. I know the traffic's coming, so I'm just sitting there the whole time thinking, where's the traffic? So I'm just driving, boop, 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 and 60 miles. I got to the Budweiser facilities in 55 to 60 minutes, and I'm just looking around, and I remember this. I called my wife and I said, the country's really shut down. like I just landed on a planet or something. And she was like, yeah. She's like, I said, I drove from one side of LA, quote, Riverside. I mean, people in LA don't count Riverside, but I drove from Riverside to North Hollywood, and I saw all the signs, and I got to look around, and I saw Disney building, I saw this, I saw that, and I was like, man, I should drive down like Beverly Hills, and I really was contemplating this stuff, and I'm like, wow. So that was, like the strangest thing that happened to me. But what was the strangest thing that happened to you? I mean, this year has been, but we will push on. We live in the, we got to live in the present. Now, what are some things that you want to get done in the year 2021? What are some things that you want to, get started? What are some things you want to finish up? Because as you well know, the journey is never over. It's just a continuous episode. The journey of life never shuts off. It never shuts down. Contrary to popular belief, if you hop into bed, pull the covers over your head, time doesn't stop. Time keeps moving. Time keeps moving. You might stop, but time keeps moving. So, what are some things that you want to get done in the year 2021? I will be happy to hear them. You should contact me more. What are you waiting on? What are we doing? You should contact me more. I know it's kind of hard. It'll be easier once I start doing YouTube videos for people to send messages and stuff. On the podcast, I'm talking, you're listening, but it's really I know people, if I give out the email sometimes, but every now and then I think to myself, I'm just wasting my time because nobody's going to wait and listen to the podcast and then be like, oh, let me email this guy, and normally just listen and go on about their day. So maybe on the YouTube videos, you'll send more messages, and I'm talking directly to you, okay? But anyway, what are some of your goals? What are some of your thoughts? What are some of your desires? Some of your wishes? What do you want to get done in the year 2021? Well, I know one thing. If you got past this year, then it shouldn't be things shouldn't be too tough, because this was a tough year. And I know in the beginning I saw a lot of people, they was like, if you don't learn the skill, if you don't learn the craft, blah 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 blah. But come on, man. Sometimes in life, when the waves are so big that all you want to do is just hold on and survive, then that's it. You know what I mean? It's not it's not a bad thing if you didn't learn how to be a lawyer or if you didn't learn how to become a woodworker. It's not a bad thing. If you just, held on for a few months, survived, kept pushing, kept fighting, that's all right. I saw this guy post that. He was like, if you don't learn a skill, and this lady was like, shut the F up. She was like, people out here losing their jobs, people out here, scared of the corona, people this, people that. And she was like, some people ain't got time to be learning no skill, And I was like, it's kind of true. Some days, for some, you might have the time, you might get laid off, you might have the time. For some, they might get laid off, and then they might, they might be financially hurting. I mean, it just all depends on your situation. But it don't matter. Today, if you want to reflect, today's a good day to reflect. But tomorrow, we'll reflect and then, move forward, push on. We will all be better from the year 2020. If you haven't learned anything about yourself, you learn that you are tough. Okay, because this virus, this whole presidential thing, it's all craziness. But anyway, what would you like to talk about today? What subject would you like to discuss? Yeah, I will tell you when we get back. All right, we will discuss it on the way back after these commercial breaks. Hello, everybody. Welcome back. Today we are going to discuss building a brand. I saw some. It was a football player named Dwayne Haskins. I don't know if you know this guy or not, but he was a first-round pick last year. He got cut from the team this year because they got tired of babysitting him. And then I saw this ESPN analyst named Booger McFarland commenting on Dwayne Haskins. And then he went from commenting on Dwayne Haskins to throwing a whole blanket on the African American community. Now, a lot of times, these people at ESPN, they say the stupidest stuff. Well, yeah, I'll say it. They say the stupidest stuff, and then it's like, why would you say that? Booger McFarland, Dwayne Haskins is a young African American man, and then he apparently he did two things. He had 2 strikes on the COVID-19 protocol. He had a party. He had some exotic dancers at his party, and nobody was wearing a mask, I guess. And then he went out in the game and he stunk it up, and he has been not great. And so this one individual, Booger McFarland, took this one individual, and then he started ranting and raving about how young African Americans are more worried about their brand than they are worried about their play, which is false, because Booger McFarland, he failed to mention the Johnny Manziels and the Baker Mayfield, who has more commercials than he has more commercials than he has wins, and so on and so on. And it got me to thinking. Yes, everybody is a brand. Everybody wants to be a brand, but the thing that Booger McFarland fails to realize is your brand in sports will not be successful if your play isn't successful. It will fizzle out very quickly. So it doesn't really matter about it doesn't matter about any football player, any athlete trying to build a brand. The LeBron James brand works because he wins at basketball, because he's great at basketball. The more you are great at something, the more you can build your brand. And because LeBron, he does, TV, he does this, he does that. It's like Tom Brady. We'll get back to football. Tom Brady has TB12. TB12 is a whole thing now. When he first started playing, I'm sure Tom Brady was thinking, I would like to build a brand. But Tom Brady started winning, and Tom Brady was able, he won 1 Super Bowl, 2 Super Bowls, 3 Super Bowls, and so on and so on. Then you're more able to build a successful brand. It doesn't matter what you want to do in sports. If you're not good at your job, if you're not competent, if you're not, not necessarily winning, but if you're not great at the sport that you are playing, then the brand will never get off the ground like you think it should. So, Booger McFarland, he shouldn't have just threw a whole blanket on African American community. He should have said this. He should have said, without being good, without the winning, without the practice, without the hard work, then your brand would never get off the ground. He should have said something like that when it comes to Dwayne Haskins. Don't throw a whole blanket on the whole African American, the young guys, this, that, and the other. Because you have people like Russell Wilson. He's building the brand, but at the same time, he's also winning football games. He won a championship for Seattle. He took them back to the Super Bowl, and they go to the playoffs almost every year. So Russell Wilson he has built a brand through success in football. So when it comes to building a brand for you and I, really, as you well know, I've said this many a times, and I will say it many a times again. There are people that will follow you early on. People will hop on. We know this. I know this. You know this. We have all the people that will hop on board early. The early adapters, the people that see the vision, people that can see things. And then, of course, once you start making, let's say you are a successful, let's say you start getting a lot of YouTube subscribers. Let's say you start doing YouTube videos, okay? You will have the first, 1,000. They say the hardest to get is the first 1,000 subscribers. You get 1,000 subscribers, woo, woo, woo. These are the people early on. People that say, oh, I like this guy. I like this girl. I like this young lady. They see you. Hop on. And you just start building it, and you get more and more successful. Then, of course, the first 1,000 subscribers is the hardest to get. By the time you get to 100,000 subscribers, you'll be gaining subscribers every day. You won't have to do much. You won't have to do a lot of promoting. You won't have to do a lot because your YouTube channel will be up there. I saw a YouTube channel yesterday. It said "Create on the Rise," and the guy had like 30,000 views or something like that, or 30,000 subscribers. He was doing cooking. I said, "Oh, that's nice." So now he'll get more and more and more. I mean, they have Creator on the Rise on his YouTube page. So it's like things will start getting better. As long as he just keeps producing videos. But with you, all you have to do is, if you are great at one thing, then you can build a brand out of that. You can branch off and build more things. So sometimes focusing on one thing and just building that up and building that out is definitely the way to go. You can't be, you would like to be, we would all like to be great at 6 things at once, but sometimes if you're just great at one thing, then that's all you need. Then you can build your brand from that. If you are great at copywriting, you can build a brand from that. If you are great at email marketing, you can build a brand at that. If you are great at whatever, you can build a brand from that. So don't think you have to have this, $2 billion business to be successful, to start building your brand. Just work on whatever you're working on. Try to work on one thing. Figure that out. Start getting some success, and then you can take your brand and make it into a whole thing from there. Okay? These are sports people. I keep thinking I should do a sports podcast because I like sports. I enjoy sports. And now, but it will be, of course, as you well know, the second time you do something, it'll be easier. If I start a sports podcast, I would get listenership a lot faster than what I got now, because I would know exactly what to do when it comes to, how to market, how to do this, how to do that, Now I'm still, but I'm still working on this. I haven't got this to where I wanted to get to. So we'll stick to being good at one thing. You got to practice what you preach. But I keep thinking that. I said, you know what? I'm gonna start a sports podcast. I have a whole sports website, sports podcast in mind, and I'm like, you know what? I'm gonna make it happen, because if you think about this, this is why websites, apps, this is why being online is a good way to go. People just don't watch cable. People, all these entities, this is why you can do skits, comedies, whatever you want to do on the internet, on the YouTube, on the whatever, stream it, whatever you want to do. Because most people don't really, not most people, but a lot of people, there's a new generation. You are probably part of this generation. Me, sir, me, ma'am, I grew up watching TV. I grew up right in front of a TV. I'm from a time where, guess what, boys and girls, children of all ages, there was no, and I mean no VCR. So what you watched was what you watched. That's it. I remember when I was 7, 8 maybe. There might have been VCRs out by then, but we wasn't buying one, But anyway, I remember it being like 6:30, 7. You might be outside somewhere and you go, oh, what time is it? And then you running home, running home to catch, Thursday night. I'll give you an example. If I'm 7, let's see. 7, I'm 1986. If it's in the springtime, okay, I'm outside, me and my brother, blah, 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 blah. But I think the Cosby Show came on at like 7 o'clock, 7:30, something like that on Thursdays in the great state of Missouri. So if it's 6:45, getting close to that time, and I want to watch the Cosby Show, I had to run home, bust it, book it, so you won't miss the episode, because they won't. It wasn't any replays, or wasn't any, none of this. Wasn't even a VCR. So I'm from that time. But now you don't have to worry about that. That's the great thing. That's the great thing I tell you about this whole content creation and recording stuff and uploading stuff, is that people will find the content eventually. People will find you eventually. There's been quite a few times where I upload an episode, and in the beginning I uploaded the episode and it got 2 downloads in a day. I'll give you an example. I wrote out what is it that I talked about? I'll give you an example. Writing on Medium, that seems to be a popular one. I talked about writing on Medium.com. I talked about that, the process and all that good stuff. And I downloaded and I was like, I don't think that's going to get a lot of. That's one of the higher episodes, because people just find it, people come back to it, people listen to it. I don't know. I don't know the ins and outs of all that, but all I know is it's one of the more downloaded shows. And I'm like, oh. But if I would have just uploaded it today and be like, I don't really like that, and nobody would find it. And that's the one thing that I want you to, speaking of building a brand, that's the one thing I want you not to do when it comes to content creation. I know we're talking about building brands, but now content creation is part of building a brand, especially going to be online. So the one thing I don't want you to do, and I know I probably said this before, but I want to stress this because this is very important. The one thing I don't want you to do is I don't want you to erase the content you put out. Don't erase the content you put out. I made that mistake before. I wish I could find it. I wrote so many. I wrote like 30 more things on Medium than I actually have on there. And I'm like, why did I delete those? Like, why did I delete those? And the videos I uploaded in 2019, I deleted those from YouTube. I'm like, now that I'm fully into this content creation stuff, I'm like, why did I delete that stuff? Like, why? Like, so I don't want you to be like me. Don't get annoyed, don't get mad if nobody's watched it, nobody's listened to it. Don't get annoyed if you don't think it's any good, because there's an evolution. You're only going to get better if you practice. You're only going to get good with practice. You're only going to get better with all this stuff with practice. And it's all practice. You will be sitting here doing one. You will be sitting here doing a podcast. You will be sitting here doing a video, and in your mind you're thinking, you'll be thinking, once you get rocking and rolling, you'll be in the middle of something. You'll be thinking, okay. I gotta get better at this. I gotta get better at that. And the thing will start slowing down for you, and the thing will start to get better, and you will pick up the pace, and you will be able to do more and more, content creation. Because I don't know about you, but it's time for us. In the year 2021, if you are listening to this program, in the year 2021, you and I, my friend, are going to be working for ourselves. That is our goal. Listen, that's not even for me. I'm gonna say it for you too. So if you're listening, I'm speaking for the both of us. You and I will be very successful in what we are trying to accomplish this year. Okay? You and I. So I know what I'm doing. I'm bringing you with me. Okay? So we, my friend, you and I, we are going to take this, whatever you're doing, and you know what I'm doing. We are going to take this, and we are going to become successful in the thing that we want to do, and we will take it to the next level. All right. That's for me and you. So we out here. So don't erase any content. Don't erase. Move forward every day. I know we're off the building a brand. You know what to do. Produce the content. Get better at the content producing. Make it great. Market the hell out of it. Make sure you're marketing. Make sure you're, honestly, what I've learned is, if you don't believe in the product you're producing, and if you don't let people know you are out here producing, then you're already behind the 8 ball. You have to be your biggest fan. You have to bang the drum before anybody else can bang the drum. You have to look at yourself in the mirror and say, I am great at this. I will be great at this. I will be great at what I'm doing. I am the best. There's nobody better. You have to believe it first before anybody else is going to follow you. You know what I mean? So keep that in mind. Because I tell myself every day I get on this podcast, I say the best podcast in the world. And you're damn right. I believe that this is the best podcast in the world. And this is only going to get better. All right? This podcast, I'm only going to get better at all this stuff. And I know the same for you. And you know why I know that? Because I believe in you. But you got to make sure that you believe in you. Because nobody else is going to believe in you if you don't believe in you. I mean, it's just the truth. But anyway, I hope you enjoyed, because I know lately these podcasts have been a little short. But I hope you enjoyed this extended podcast. And we will see you next year. You like that, huh? You didn't see that one coming, did you? No, that's a very bad one. I do that every year. Every year if I'm at the warehouse, I go, oh, see you next year. But anyway, that's it for today. Build a brand, create content. Man, take a 30-minute break, but don't take a 3-month break. Nah, if you take a 3-month break, that's fine. But make sure whatever kind of break you take, make sure you get back to it. Make sure you come back to the thing that you love, the thing that you want to get done. Make sure you come back to it. All right? I know sometimes things get tough, sometimes things get rough. But always keep your eye on the prize. Always keep the eye on the dream that you have. Don't let go. Hang on to it. All right? That's it. My name is Tony Rizzano. I'll see you next year. Enjoy your day. Enjoy your evening. Happy New Year's for me. And we will see you down the road. And as always, everybody, peace.